Hello everyone, good evening, welcome. I'm Aslı Altay, like Emily introduced. I work at The Walker with the design and content teams. And I'm so excited. Next year we'll be celebrating the 40th anniversary of this series, which started in 1986. And it's lovely to see such a warm house tonight. But before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that Walker Art Center stands on the contemporary, traditional, and ancestral homelands of the Dakota people, once an expanse of marshland and meadow that still hold deep meaning for the Dakota, Ojibwe, and other indigenous communities in the Twin Cities. As a cultural institution, the Walker is committed to building relationships with Native communities through artistic and educational programming, curatorial and community partnerships, and the presentation of new work. We are excited to be back today, and before I begin my introduction of Zeynep, this program is made possible through our partnership with AIGM Minnesota. We are grateful for Shopko, who prints our beautiful posters every year. And I would like to thank our team, the Walker Design Studio team led by Mark Owens, our colleagues in content and communications, marketing, Walker Shop, and event production. And of course, a big thank you to our ASL interpreters for being here tonight. We are honored to welcome Zeynep Orbay, a designer whose career is a testament to creativity, craft, cultural impact. As a creative director at Wieden+Kennedy, Amsterdam, Zeynep has worked with some of the world's most recognizable brands and names, building narratives that push the boundaries of advertising and design. Originally from Turkey, she had her master's degree in SVA as a Fulbright scholar, and she won the award Paula Rose Award for Exceptional Achievement in Design. Her career has taken her through some of the most prestigious agencies and institutions, interning with Milton Glaser and Paula Scher, working with the New York City Ballet as a designer, working McCann Erickson, New York, working there as a designer, and TBWA Istanbul, before eventually moving to Amsterdam, where she continues to make waves in the industry. Zeynep has received global recognition, including being named one of the next creative leaders by the One Club for Creativity and earning accolades from Cannes Lions, DNAD, Clio, Eurobest, One Show. But before all that, before all the awards, the global juries and the high-profile campaigns, Zeynep and I briefly worked together at an agency called Aran Ajans. A place that, well, let's say neither of us felt the need to put in our resumes. And we have made a pact not to talk about it ever. If the work is lingering somewhere, we'll promise each other to bury it, but since you are family right now, I'm sharing this. Beyond commercial work, Zeynep is deeply passionate about using design for social impact. She has worked on projects addressing media censorship in Turkey, LGBTQIA plus rights, climate change, and women's empowerment across Middle East. She has also been juror of the awards that she was awarded with, such as the Cannes Lions and the DNAD and so forth. So last year, I saw she was hanging out with LeBron James. So I thought, okay, we should invite her and find out what's going on. We are looking forward to hear about her journey, insights, and creative philosophy tonight. Please join us for the Q&A after the talk. Prepare your questions. I'm not taking any questions about Aran Ajans. Please join me welcoming Zeynep Orbay.
Hello, everyone. I don't know this woman. Never worked in Aran Ajans before, just making it clear. Welcome to the first years. Thank you, Walker, for having me. And thank you, Aslı and the team, for being the best team ever. I almost want to apply for a job here. And yeah, thanks for coming to be here tonight. So, hi, I'm Zeynep, and I'm a creative director on Nike and Hennessy in Wieden+Kennedy, Amsterdam right now. I've been there for more than 10 years, and I come from a design and art direction background. I come from Turkey, grew up in Ankara, that little red dot, and that's me probably when I was 5. My first out-of-home design piece on my bed. And then this is me with my son, who was around the same age. Okay, so today I'm going to take you through a very brief history of exes. Exes don't deserve a lot of time, so it's just going to be very brief. And then we'll dive into my new relationship with Hennessy. And I want to take you through the whole background of the last 2 years, which starts with us joining the pitch. So asking out our first date, how we met their friends and family, how we defined our relationship, and then we'll dive into the first big project, which is the first trip together, and then how we announced it in social, my first shock, and saying I love you. Okay, so I started as an intern in 2005, so it's been 20 years, and I had a lot of relationships, and I had trust issues. There are some that I wish luck. Many of them are dead to me. There were a lot of boundary issues. Some were cute, but the parents totally ruined it. There are a few that we are still friends. And there were some that were too conservative, and coming from Turkey, that's a big no. So if we think about the dating scene right now, it's very grim. Like you wake up, you go to ad week, and then the first thing you read is like, the ad industry has reached a breaking point, can it bounce back? Or like, will AI take the jobs? It's just really tense. Back in the days, the agencies and clients used to date for like 30 years. And now that's gone. There's a lot of divorces happening and a lot of open relationships. And most importantly, the dates got super cheap. But there's hope, says anyone who is in a new relationship. So let's start with asking out and the pitch process. I really dislike the pitch process. I think you're in a very fragile state because the fear of rejection is real. And putting yourself out there with the chance of being rejected is really scary. There's a lot, like very intense weeks of getting ready for something. You don't know what you're getting ready for because you don't know that party at all. You don't know the likes, the dislikes, the common areas. And I think the worst thing is there are more than like 2-3 partners who are trying to get them as well. And you don't know which agencies they are, so you usually meet them when you go to the meeting them and when you present the first tissue session, and then they're leaving, and they're like, oh, who are they? Are they BPTO? What's happening? So that's hard. I wanted to bring the slide because it's important for me for 2 reasons. One is, so this is the first ever slide Hennessy has seen from Wieden+Kennedy. And I somehow chopped their logo into half, which I thought it would probably scare them. But now we launched the global guidelines, and the logo is cropped, not as bad as this, but it is cropped. So that's a nice story. And the second one, I will come back at the very end of the presentation. So we went to Cognac to meet them before the pitch. And then they took us to the old cellars, and it's this magical place. It's really dark, and all the walls have this black mold that I fell in love with. And then the black mold also participates in cognac making. So I took a lot of photos, and I used it everywhere. Like the whole deck is a black mold deck. So we will see the consequences of that. The wait is hard. In this case, it was really hard. It was 48 days. And then we learned the management was going to talk to Hennessy, so we waited outside of the room, and this is us dancing silently. This is when we learned we won it. So it was official. They like us as well. And then this was my heart. I got this notification twice in 2 years. So it shows something. And then this is the night off. And neck brace has nothing to do with Hennessy. Okay, so we are dating, and it's official. So we went to Cognac this time as the official partners. And then we met the family and friends. We did all the cheesy tours, the barrel photos. I learned a lot about cognac making. We did a lot of tasting. So I think we just gathered a lot of information about them and then came back to Amsterdam. And then we started defining the relationship. One thing that we worked on first was to take a look at what they had been doing before us. And Hennessy has done awesome work in the past. Like they worked with Droga 5 and created work that I was very jealous of. But overall, it felt like it was very dark and very masculine. And branding-wise, because they were working with many different markets, the branding didn't feel really consistent. We were very aware that we were about to start working with a brand that has so much brand love and so much heritage. So Hennessy has been featured in the lyrics of over 4,000 tracks, making it the most name-checked brand in the history of hip-hop, which is like insane. So as creatives, instead of so many Excel charts and so many analytics, this chart helped me understand the problem the most. So Hennessy's name in lyrics went up, and then it plateaued, and then it started going down, whereas tequila, as you may have thought, is spiking up. So that was the problem, and it was very clear. So if you close your eyes and think about cognac, you probably think of this man. You probably think of some cigars, maybe a fireplace, and leather. But if you think about tequila, you probably think something like this. So again, it was a very clear way to go. So we started making plans. This part is a little bit hard because you're just making plans without having produced anything yet. So you're just gathering everything from other brands and creating mood boards, and then working with the strategy department to make we basically made this book of like how we need to speak, how we need to show up and behave. And the general idea was we need to be more relevant, younger, and brighter. So after all those plans, it was time to do work, and I'll take you through the first campaign first. It was interesting to find out that Hennessy used to be mixed in 30s. So we found these posters that are from 1933, where they actually did a lot of cocktails back in the day, which was interesting because today people, I think in maybe the last 20 years, when you think about Hennessy, you just think about drinking it neat on the rocks, or if people are really adventurous with a simple soda. But Hennessy doesn't just mix, it participates. This is a line from the master blender at Hennessy. So especially the VS is really versatile, and when it mixes, it really creates a lot of flavor and depth. So when you try a Hennessy cocktail, it's absolutely true. It doesn't just blend in, it creates more flavor, depth, and complexity. So in other words and numbers, again, like simplifying as the creative department, we came up with this 1 + 1 = 3, which was like, okay, this is really clear because Hennessy plus anything is going to be more than its sum. So we started working on a campaign that demonstrates Hennessy's versatility, but in fact, the bigger job is shaking up people's perception of Hennessy. which in all the work that I'm going to show you, basically this became our North Star. So it's showing another side of a brand that most people think they know. We created 5 films, out-of-home assets, global social content and activation. This was a global campaign, but I think US had the biggest media buy. And the creative idea became a mashup of people, places, and things, just like a cocktail itself. Places that you wouldn't make yourself a cocktail in, but treat it like it's the most natural thing in the world. We started working also on the tone, and we thought we need to embrace a little bit of humor, but we can be cheeky, we can't be too funny. So seriously stylish, but not serious. Next on the list was finding the right talent. Probably you would believe, but so many celebrities don't drink anymore. So it was a little hard to find the right people. We needed people who embodied the sense of effortlessness, who could make you smile and kill you with a look at the same time. So we were so lucky because Teyana Taylor and Damson just said yes. And then we went to the shoot. This is Andreas Nilsson. He was one of the dream directors that I always wanted to work with. That's why he deserves a little heart. One thing I learned from him, which changed a lot of, which makes me think that I did this wrong thing for so many years, is like a great 45 seconds won't be a great 30. Because I think as advertisers, sometimes we're given a brief saying like, you have 20 seconds, like the media buy is 30, and we all go like, okay, but we'll do the 45 or 1 minute version. That the one that makes you proud, the one that you want to show here. And then he said, if you do that, a cut down will never be as good. If we should just aim to make the best 30, but you won't be able to make 32 out of it. So that's a learning for me. We have a few more. Thank you.
Big man, they felt peanut butter, he says to us, he's like, please Esther, what you say? He says, I tell you, you're getting off right, but we get it like going anyway. Wiener dog. I was just one day to mean about it. He was just surfboard, ping pong, rugby, Esther. Sports.
One last one.
Vestita con un abito di diversa dall'espressione contemporanea. È il mondo moderno.
I be spitting facts on the get-go. I got many problems, nothing didn't let me check go.
Next to all this, we also worked with Mikael Carter, who is an awesome photographer, and he created all this work for the key visuals and out of home. And this is us on the set. We also had a lot of new photo shoots for all the bottles, all the products, all the cocktails, all the social assets. So that also happened at this time. And then we also worked with event agencies to make sure the new feeling and the new light tone is felt in activations. Especially in the US, Hennessy has a lot of shows up in festivals a lot. So this is the new red color that we introduced them, which I'm going to show you in a second. But it was just so exciting to all of this to start living in the world at the same time. And we did, I just brought a few design sketches because there was a lot of activations in different markets. So using the new red and, for example, creating these fruit boxes that can also act like dividers, creating fruit stickers with Hennessy branding. So it was like a really fun project for the design studio. The long receipt was an invitation for an event in a bodega, for example. We created these bags that had 2 compartments, one for Hennessy, one for fruits. As you have seen, we have also launched the new design guidelines, and I'm going to show you just 2 minutes of a case study of what we have done there. The next project, yes. The next part is about how we started working on social. And again, Hennessy's social used to look like this, which is very in line with their previous look, that is very dark and masculine. So we tried to get our tone into little social assets and bring the lightness and the humor into it. So this is, for example, a cocktail post for when we launched in US Open. So this is just various ways of mixing Hennessy. We were trying to also teach people recipes. Well, we say versatile, but then these assets go a little bit more deeper into how. We made this glass that has a steering spoon on one side. So, and we always try to keep in mind that some of these can become merch as well. So some of them do come to life in different markets. This is, if you have a mechanical bowl, how to shake your cocktail. And then we designed these keychains that carries everything you need to make cocktails. And then we needed to, like, whenever we go to a bar and order Henrita, or like a cocktail with Hennessy, the bartender, especially if there's music, we always have the same thing. It's like, what? So we said, okay, we're going to make some assets where you can use, even when there's music, you can just it helps you, your bartender to bartender right. We also made these kits and sent it to people when your bartender is not bartendering kit. So it has all the stickers for your phone. It has a scarf. There's a T-shirt on one margarita, please. You just show it, and then if the bartender doesn't get it, you just turn around. We made silk scarves. And we also thought it could be really fun to print the recipes on everything Hennessy can mix with. So we chose a lot of fruits and created these little recipes on the fruits. This is one we did for Halloween. This was last week's Oscars. I wanted to bring some of these examples because the production approach of these compared to the last one is so different. The first one is like months of getting aligned and big budgets and shoots. This one is so quick. And for example, we just shot this in the agency's garden, so I also brought that. So this is the this is the backstage.
Broomstick. Everything is ready.
It's not as glamorous as it looks like. So yeah, we hopefully by time we will switch the social even more because it's still mixed with it's still not one consistent tone all the time, but we're working on it. Okay, honey, we're viral. So the next one is about celebrity collaboration, and if you're a celebrity in 2025, you either have a tequila brand or you have a alcohol collab, and they all look like this. This one needs special appreciation, so I just made it bigger. So our goal was how can we reinvent the partnership? So it's not just like someone holding it, but it's about their authentic friendship. We were so lucky because we got to work with LeBron. So that's the limited edition product that came out last fall. And that was our first project, so we needed to let the world know that we are together. How can we show the world that these two giants are coming together in an unexpected way? This is a social-led campaign, so we thought it would be awesome to create a campaign based on memes because his interaction with his fans is awesome. His fan base is super big, and also he is the main character in so many different memes. So we started with this one. There's a lot of memes about LeBron reading just the first page of the books. And also this proves how an amazing person he is, because he's the one that loved this and is like, yeah, let's do it. So I really loved working together. So we designed a book and called it The First Page. And this was our teaser, so we only put the Hennessy logo small, but basically the book is empty, and on the first page it says something like, we are coming together and we will fill this book together. So we didn't post it, he posted, I mean, that was the plan, so he posted it without a lot of info, and his fans got crazy. And I just love these on TikTok where the fans like go and point out, so even the ones that you didn't know there is, and they're like, oh, and they put this tree there because it's LeBron's favorite tree. So it's just awesome. So that was the first asset, that was the teaser. The second one was, okay, we have to put the product, like launch the product. How do we do that? We saw that before Olympics, LeBron had this video of like, he's not really great in spinning the ball. So we were like, okay, awesome, we're going to make him spin a bottle then. So this is what we did. Instead of a key visual, just like a classical photography approach, we worked with an awesome artist, and Stefania painted this piece, and we hid a lot of Easter eggs for fans to pick up in the background, like the very, if you know cues, small insights from Akron, like that bird is the official bird of Akron. Very small insider jokes from Cognac. We hid the campaign elements into it. You see the book is there. And then like this ball we're just going to see now, his birth year, his championship years, like there's a lot to unlock. I can show you afterwards. And then we just didn't want to put this out in a traditional way. So we thought, when a player joins a new team, the town always welcomes them with a mural. So we said, okay, he's coming to Cognac, so we should just put this as a mural in Cognac. And this is how we revealed this.
Yo, check this out.
Last time we had a collab with a king was in 1817.
Oh yeah, that's nuts.
And then this guy designed a T-shirt out of that, which is I think the highlight, and then he started selling it for $25, which is. This is how we showed the painting to LeBron and Savannah, and then it became out of home everywhere. So this is from LA. So we had to bring the drinkability and the mixing aspect to this campaign as well. So we did work with LeBron to create a ball that, when you dribble it, it shakes your cocktail. It took a lot of, we worked with an also industrial designer team. It was really hard. I mean, obviously when there's no air, it doesn't jump. So it's really hard, it was hard. So this was the final ball, and it came in a box with like a lot of ingredients and glassware and everything you need. And then the shaker was in it. And this is how we launched it.
Who's thirsty? You hear that?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Henny Rita. Oh, that's good.
Okay, the next one in the world of memes. So there are a lot of AI memes created by him, making him take place in historical moments. So this is an example.
I remember about 400,000 years ago, I was chilling with my hunter-gatherer tribe, eating some chewy-ass antelope. I was like, damn, I wish we could cook this shit somehow. A couple days later, while sharpening a spear point with a rock.
Okay, maybe not museum-friendly language. So this is what we did. This is not AI, but I mean, the task was how to do we do a lot of assets that basically take, like, put a spotlight to LeBron, but this is an authentic friendship. How do we talk about Hennessy without sounding like a history lesson or so detached? So this is how we did it.
It's 1765. I'm chilling with Richard Hennessy. I mean, I call him Rich, but don't tell him that. He gives me this idea about starting a whiskey brand in Ireland somewhere. I'm like, Rich, you know what would be crazy? I think you need to do cognac. And instead of Ireland, you need to go to France. I mean, just like that, that's how Hennessy got started. Cheers.
There's also a moment where he leaves a press conference just like this by putting the shades on. That's why we made him leave. And then we made him walk in a ridiculous place and we put a goat there. So and he just doesn't stop. I mean, but I'm going to stop now. But yeah. So yes, the shoot was done, and this is us celebrating together. Jimmy and Kadim were the two creatives on this project, and they were the biggest LeBron fans I've ever seen. And Jimmy's like has a letter back in the day saying one day his biggest dream is meeting him. So it was very emotional to be on a shoot with these two guys who did an awesome job. And yeah, the results were pretty good. We had a lot of press mentions. Okay, so the first shock. So after the launch of these projects, we had this Hennessy party in Wieden+Kennedy, and everyone came, and it was just really awesome. And we tried all the cocktails, and I think this is the top of my career, where like I'm sitting on LeBron's massage chair. There was one reason that made us think about Wieden twice. I'm like, what is that? She says it was the pitch deck design. It was very bad, very bad. Felt like they didn't get us. Remember this slide? So I almost made us not get Hennessy. So yeah, this is another learning for all of us. No mold for a luxury brand. Like every relationship, we have ups and downs, and it's always fun to talk about the best parts, but of course we do have tensions, we do have bad days, we do have a lot of projects that die. These are just some of them with some censorship. There's a guy in the creative department that creates these, like, after a project dies, he creates these little monuments. I'm just going to end it with, I think, a proof that shows how much place Hennessy has in my life right now. So when my son was asked to draw something from home, he drew this, which makes me think about this. But yeah, this is the end. Thank you so much.
This was really fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I have to share this with you. We are privileged because, you know, we upload these videos, the Inside Lecture series, to our website, but we need to edit them. The whole,
Yes.
there are, many confidential little details made it
Big
really
details,
special.
yeah.
Okay. So it was a privilege. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you two questions before opening up. The first one is not about Hennessy, but I've known you for over 20 years, and I know you as a really good designer, right? You studied design, you studied graphic design. I never taught you as an advertiser. Even when you worked at McCann, you worked there as a designer. So how does it work? Like, how did you switch, or the designer in you kind of steps forward when the brief requires it to? Is it like in conflict? I'm curious.
I mean, that's a great question. That's something I've been asking myself for a very long time too. I think in undergrad and in master's, I had design education. I think I jumped into advertising because Turkey doesn't really have design agencies. So that's how I started design as a designer in an ad agency. And then, but my goal was always to switch to design. But I think I stayed in the advertising agency for so long that it poisoned me, and I started loving the concepting part so much. But then, even when I went to New York, and even when I went back to Amsterdam, I started as a designer in Wieden. So I did a lot of zigzags. But I think now I found my happy place because Hennessy and Nike are two clients that are very design-oriented. So I can say that I do maybe 50-50. Like my designer part gets satisfied, but then doing the campaigns and going on shoots is also so satisfying. So I think this is a good balance that I love.
Yeah, great. And about Hennessy, it's quite a pivot you made for that brand. It's a heritage brand, right? So you did move the brand, leaving the dad energy behind to a more kind of off-the-moment, young place. Was there a moment during the process where you stopped and said, sorry, dads, it's not about you anymore, and you're not taking them along for the ride for the future?
I think about my dad, and like no ads can stop him drinking what he likes. But jokes aside, I think that maybe this is more like a recruitment kind of campaign, but also it's not necessarily alienating the older generation too. Like the leather couch and the fireplace will still ask for Hennessy, and that's fine. I think we will still own that, but it's just showing that we're not just that and opening it to more opportunities.
Great. Thank you. Okay, I think we can move to questions. Does anyone have? Yes, I see a hand there in the middle.
Hi, my name is Brooke. I'm a student at Augsburg University, and my question is more so revolving around the pitch side of things. I guess I know you said that it was bad, but just in general, when you're approaching like pitching a campaign to a company, I guess like what are sort of the principles you bring with you to sort of demonstrate that you're the right people for the job?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think the pitch work is not necessarily there to show them that we understand their needs immediately, because we can't. But it needs to show the kind of work that Wieden, for example, in our case, likes doing to them. So it doesn't start from a wrong point, like maybe we like doing a little bit more edgier stuff, and it's good to show it then to see like if we like each other. And then doing the right work maybe comes afterwards. But with some clients, we do have tissue sessions, so you do have a chance to check with them and then pivot the work in a different side, which is also important for them to see if we are flexible or we can only do one tone of voice.
Any other questions? Yes, we have here. Thank you.
Thank you. I was just curious about, you mentioned finally being at like the happy spot in your career, and balancing that with the designer inside of you. How has like being satisfied with your job role or like playing into your strengths in your job role changed over your career?
I am not, my English is not enough to.
Sorry. Did you always feel comfortable with doing the amount of design versus directing as you do now, or how did you get to that point from job to job?
I mean, it depends on, like, it changes from project to project as well, and it's not always the same balance that you hope for. Sometimes the design doesn't play that big of a role. Sometimes it does more. But it's also, I think, having a design background, I tend to solve briefs with design solutions maybe a little bit more than some other people with pure advertising backgrounds. It's an advantage or not, I mean, it's not an advantage or a disadvantage, but advantage. But there are so many Nike projects, for example, I just like the designer in me tries to solve it purely on design first. So yeah, I'm trying to balance it.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's continue to have a chat. Yes, thanks for coming. Come back next week.